Perfect. Okay, so having that out of the way, I think we can start talking about the project that we've gathered here to hear about. Woo! Which is, of course, liquid texture. Well, so as a matter of fact, the project started as an idea. We saw a map of Paris. It was a three-dimensional map, well, slightly skewed perception of Paris from the 18th century, if I'm correct. 1760 something. Yeah, probably 18th century. A rough approximation, I'd say. And we thought that, well, this map gave us some great possibility to explore the additional information that we can gather from a skewed perception and apply it to something more modern, something that we all love and care about, which is video games. First, we took the map, we found a place which looked a bit different than all the other surroundings, so the place would be easier to find in today's Paris, because we had to have some measurements. We have to have the knowledge how wide is the street, how narrow is it, maybe how tall are the buildings. So we could extrapolate all the data and apply it to all the other buildings that we had in the map. So we thought about Place Royale. Pardon my French. Well, this was the first problem that we've encountered. This place doesn't exist in Paris nowadays. And you might ask yourself, why is that? Since Paris wasn't hit so hard in the war, so what happened? Well, it turns out that nothing happened. Well, bureaucracy happened. It changed its name. So we couldn't find it. We took to Wikipedia and we found those lovely braces which told us, as it was known a bit earlier. Okay, so we took to Google Earth and we measured it. We measured the hell out of it. We got an approximation of the street. We could also, and we did, find the height of the buildings. Buildings didn't change that much, so we could extrapolate this data to all the surrounding buildings. Well, it was nice that they share the same height, because we had to model only a reduced set of buildings. Well, it was a hackathon, we didn't have a lot of time, so every single thing that counted towards a shorter time span was for the best. Okay, so we had the measurements, we had the data, where is it? So the first logical step would be to model it. So we did. We used Blender. You probably heard about Blender. We modeled everything and then we had the task of texturing it. And this is my first time that I was actually texturing something, so I screenshotted. Well, I cut out all the textures from the map. I corrected its perspective, so it's now facing me. And then I erased windows or maybe some spaces that were actually quite distracting, so I could project it onto the model that I had just created. And I did. And it was actually quite an agonizing task. Agonizing, I like it, but agonizing because I had 12 hours to complete it. So there are things to, well, I would like to iron out, but I hadn't had the time to do it properly. So this is the first thing that, out of many, that I learned on this hackathon. Okay, so we have the model. It is now textured. So how do we present it to the people that are eager to play our game? So what do? Well, we use a little library called 3JS. It's a JavaScript implementation of WebGL. WebGL is a web graphics library. So it's all in the acronym. We used 3JS because it's much easier to work around than WebGL. In WebGL, if you wanted to move like a triangle, 2 pixels to the left, you had to write like 100 lines of code. In 3JS, well, it's like a half a line of code, I think. It's a lot easier. And so we had to import this model to our web app, and it was a third challenge that we had. What's the best way to save the model? What is the best format that we should use to save a 3D model, to present it in the web? And well, it turns out that GLTF was the best because it had all the texture data hard-coded into the model, and using the GLB extension, it's in binary, the model is compressed, so it weighs a lot less than the original model, which is very important if you are working in a web environment. You have to reduce weight on everything because people will be downloading this app. Okay, so we had the model imported into our app. We could rotate it, we could move it, we could zoom it in and out and see all the errors that we made in the texturing part. But how do we turn it into a game? How do we make people immersed in our creation? Well, the first thing that popped into our heads was make it a first-person perspective game, like a FPS shooter, like Counter-Strike Go or Team Fortress 2. Maybe someone still plays this game. So we found a nice library, a pack of code that allowed us to do that. We didn't have to write it from scratch. Again, a time saver, which was much appreciated. And after all of these blocks, the code, the 3D rendering engine, 3JS, the model with textures implemented, we had to put this all together, and we had something that we could show the world. We were proud of it. I think we still are proud of it. Well, there are things that, as I said, could be ironed out, but, well, we didn't have a lot of time to create it. And I think that you will like it too. So, this is a QR code. I will be pleased if you would like to check it out. And, well, I hope you enjoy it. Thank you for your attention, and hopefully see you all in October. Goodbye. As a parting gift, I will try to land this trick, and maybe Veronica will wave in front of the lens to show that I have a cameraman now. So Veronica here, thank you for filming this video. And well, let's see if I still got it, but I fear that I do not. It's been years after all.